Hi guys, we're about to start Chapter 3 of A to Z Mysteries, Colossal Fossil. It's number 10 in the series, and it's written by Ron Roy. Chapter 3. Everyone yelled back, "Me!" "That's great! Now make a line and help yourselves," Sylvia said. "Be sure to take a dino cookie." The platters held hamburgers, veggie burgers. There was a bowl of salad and another holding fresh fruit. Next to the fruit was a plate of cookies shaped like little dinosaurs. Everyone filled a plate, grabbed a bottle of water, and headed back to their sleeping bags. The room got pretty noisy with people eating, talking, and laughing. "That was great," Josh said 20 minutes later. His plate was empty. "Looks like there are plenty of cookies left," Dink's father said. He gave Josh a nudge. "Why don't you go over and get more?" "I guess I could eat one more cookie," Josh said, as he headed toward the long table. "The movie will start in 5 minutes," Sylvia called out to the room. "Toss your trash, please, and be sure to put your water bottles in the recycling barrel." Here's a picture of the dinner table. All around the room, groups of kids and chaperones made themselves comfortable on their sleeping bags. Some of the parents were chatting with each other. Sylvia flipped a wall switch and the room went dark. Everyone got quiet. Josh came back with some dinosaur cookies on a plate. The 3 kids sat on their sleeping bags and munched cookies. The movie was about a young dinosaur who got lost. He escaped some meat-eating dinosaurs and fell into a rushing river. But his mother found him, so there was a happy ending. Everyone clapped and yelled when the movie was over. Sylvia turned up the lights. "Okay, who's ready for some more fun?" she called out. Lots of voices shouted, "Yay!" "Your chaperones are going to take you all on a secret adventure," Sylvia said. "Tyler, Sandy, Trish, and Otto, are you ready?" "We're ready," the 4 chaperones called back. They led their groups of kids and parents out of the room. There was lots of giggling and chattering. Some of the kids were in stocking feet. Where are we going?" Alex asked Sylvia when the others had left. "It's a secret," Sylvia said, and she led a group of 9 out of the room, past Spino and the River Diamond. Fred and Ruby Walker carried their teddy bears with them. "How about a hint?" Mr. Davis asked Sylvia. "Okay," Sylvia said. "Think wet, but also dry. Big and small. Colorful and plain." "No fair," Josh said. "That could be anything." Sylvia just smiled. They all followed her up a set of stairs and down a corridor and stopped at a black door. "Everyone needs to stay quiet," she said in a low voice. "We don't want to scare our friends." "What friends?" Alex said. "Frogs," Sylvia said. She opened the door and ushered her charges in. "Oh my gosh," Ruth Rose said. All around them were pools, aquariums, and cages filled with frogs. There were tiny green ones, huge brown ones, and even bright blue ones. They made different sounds, from chirping to what sounded like burping. One variety let out low whistles. Some of the frogs swam in water and others sat on rocks or lily pads. "They come from all over the world," Sylvia said. "The little blue ones are from Japan." She showed them a pool where a bunch of different frogs lived. "You can put your hands in there," she said. "These frogs don't mind being held. Just be gentle." Everyone gathered around the pool and stuck their hands in. "Ooh, I touched one," Ruby said. Dink picked up a giant bullfrog. It was dark green with a soft white belly. The frog's long back legs wiggled around, tickling Dink's hands. After about 20 minutes, Sylvia said, "Okay, bedtime for frogs and kids. Let's head back." They followed her past darkened rooms. One had a sign on the door that read, "Let's plant a garden." Through the window, Dink saw Sandy and her group. Back in the sleeping room, almost everyone had returned from their adventure. Kids and adults were getting into their sleeping bags. Most of the kids wore their regular clothes, but Fred and Ruby were wearing jammies. Soon the room was quiet. Dink's dad and Mr. Davis were talking softly, leaning against the wall under one of the dimmed lights. Josh and Ruth Rose kicked off their shoes and crawled inside their sleeping bags. "Josh," Dink whispered. "What?" "I don't mean to scare you," he said, but I think I saw an enormous spider crawling into your sleeping bag." "Very unfunny, Sonny," Josh said. Then he rolled over and pretended to snore. Josh snuggled into a sleeping bag. A few minutes later he was asleep. He dreamed that he was a cave boy. His blonde hair was long and tangled. He wore an animal skin and no shoes. He slept in a cave and made pets out of a I'm going to fix that sentence. He slept in a cave and made pets out of baby wild animals. In his dream, Dink was fishing in a river when a big black creature rose out of the water. It had sharp teeth and long black hair. The monster grabbed Dink and began licking his face. Its breath smelled like rotten fish. Dink woke up. His heart was beating fast, and he felt too warm inside the sleeping bag. He unzipped it and peeled off his sweatshirt. Everyone else was asleep. Snoring sounds came from his dad's sleeping bag. "Whew, I'm safe," he told himself. "No hairy monsters." Closing his eyes again, Dink drifted into sleep. Suddenly, a loud crash made him sit up. Then an alarm went off, like the ones Dink had heard on ambulances. The sound wailed through the room, waking everyone. Fred and Ruby began to cry. Dink heard their mother trying to comfort them. Everyone was sitting up, climbing out of their sleeping bags. The chaperones and parents were yelling back and forth. Let me show you the picture before we go on. So scary, don't you think? Wonder what crashed. I can think of a couple of ideas of what it might be. Neither one of them are good. Nobody knew what was happening or what made the alarm continue to shriek. "What's going on?" Josh asked as his head popped out of his sleeping bag. His hair was spiky and his eyes were big. The alarm sound was coming from the Spinosaurus room. Dink looked toward the door. Sylvia wasn't there. Her sleeping bag was empty. The Walker kids were still crying. The alarm kept bleeding. "Is it a fire drill?" Mr. Davis yelled. "Should we get out of here?" The alarm suddenly stopped, and Sylvia appeared in the doorway. She looked scared. "I'm sorry about the racket, guys," she said with a shaky voice. "There's been an accident." And that is the end of Chapter 3. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.